Hey, welcome to Peep Show Talk, episode number 21. And I'm pretty excited about our guest today. It's Dee Perini from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So if you enjoy the Peep Show episodes, go ahead and like, share, comment, whichever. If you don't like them, just go watch something else. Just go do something else. I don't need your negativity here. I've got lots of cat videos you guys can watch. If you'd like to support the channel, just buy one of my books. Um, and they're on lulu.com. I have my chaplain book, my war pigeon book, my Civil War book, and my book about the history of CB radios. So, hey, Dee, how are you doing today?
I am super good. Super good.
Okay, looks like you're in your war room there.
I am. I come down here sometime just to rest, but every time I come down here, then there's more things to do. So I just recently restored some of my tools because I know everybody has those special tools that go in our Jeeps. So that's what my last project was to get all those done. But my war room is a collection of World War II and Vietnam because I do both of those events. So pretty much everything you can use during those events is in this room.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you is because you're one of the few women that's pretty actively in the hobby. There's a lot of people that maybe have wives or girlfriends who tag along, but I think you're into it as deep as anyone.
It may even be deeper. It's down that rabbit hole. There's no doubt about it. But I started years and years and years ago. My dad was an avid Jeep person. He was in 3 wars. So he was in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam as a fighter pilot. So he had a Jeep in every war. And so my Jeeps are all in a tribute to him. So okay. I keep the family going. And it is lots of research, and that's mainly what I do is try to get these Jeeps up to where people can look at them in the close to original as I can get them.
So what Jeeps do you have?
I have right now, I just sold one too. Right now I have a Slat, a very early Slat. She is a December 12th Slat. And yep, there she is. So her numbers are real early. She's December. And so I got her probably about 75% done. And then did all the rest of it to get her up to where I could show her. And I have put her in the MVPA convention twice, and she has taken a bronze and a silver. So I worked really hard to do that. Took me about probably 2 years to get her. I mean, some of the pictures you're seeing right now they're not all, those are old because I've redone pretty much that whole engine compartment and, had to do the tinning and the putting in the horns and everything that is on there that is incorrect that you see has been replaced. So, I took my time. The hardest thing to find, I think, was that radiator, because those radiators you're not going to find anywhere. When you do find them, they are very much expensive. So, and it's fun for me. I mean, I've always been turning wrenches on several cars. My first Jeeps were years and years and years ago. Like 40 years ago, I had a CJ5. So I just sold another CJ5, but it's just, I love these Jeeps. They're easy to work on. I can just bend over and get into them. They're very, very easy to work on. And so I really like doing it and then restoring what I see. to get back to the most original that I can. I did show her in when she won those 2 awards were for what do they call it, for the factory.
Oh, the
So there was a lot of things.
factory restoration.
Yeah, I mean, I got docked on a lot. I'm sure people that look at this video will see a lot of things that need to change, which I have changed already.
Yeah,
But
well, it looks a lot better than my Slat does right now, so I can't complain whatsoever.
it's got the original engine in it. All the numbers match. The wheels, they're Kelly Hayes wheels, they're I mean, everything on there, the gusset, everything matches. So this came, it was brought back from the war, and the guy that brought it back took it to Georgia, and then the guy in Georgia used it at his farm, I guess, or they had some kind of spa, so they ran the people around in it. And then another guy bought it from him and put all this stuff in here, or restored it mostly. And then I got it. So I'm like the 3rd owner of it.
Wow.
That's pretty good for a Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to get it totally painted, taken apart again and repainted, because that's something that takes really a lot of time. I know the guys are really into this and can do it a lot easier. I mean, it's getting harder for me to get under her. So, I would like someone to be able to paint it up. I can get in the engine pretty good, and turn wrenches in there. And I was pretty proud of doing that. Putting the seats, I had to get new seats for her and things like that because it needs zippers, all those little things that all the guys are always, trying their best. And I depend on everybody. All these guys are brilliant, I'll tell you. And they have helped me through, asking questions. I just am like a crazy person asking questions to everybody. And the guys are really good to me. And when I can't do something, like I needed help when I had to take that radiator out and, do some work with that, I'll ask Mike to come over. He's with Watson's Wagons. He'll come over and help me.
Mm-hmm.
And because sometimes I just need man help. I just don't have the strength that men do. Can't do it. When I was younger, I was pretty good, but I put all that stuff in with the wood and took that bumper off a couple of times. Everything I've done a couple of times because I'll put it on and then I'll forget something and I have to take it off, put it back on. So I learned, that's how you learn.
Right.
And
right.
Reading all the TMs, and I mean, not too many women sit around at 9 o'clock at night reading a TM, but I do, because I want to do the best that I can for a girl. I don't do too bad for a girl, but
I don't think you do too bad for anyone. So I would not downplay your efforts because of your gender whatsoever.
I'd like to really take a welding class. That seems to be, there's some things I need to get welded and stuff. So the guys said, why don't you just take a class, which I would love to do that. So
yeah, I just did that last fall.
Did you?
Yeah.
And I guess there's different techniques and stuff, but I would like to do it. And
I went to the local community college, and it was like $750 or so for a semester, 16 weeks. And I think I learned enough to be kind of dangerous, although the stuff that I learned in class isn't necessarily what I need to do on my project, but at least I learned the basic principles. So
like what you're showing there is that, that braiding that is on there, and I left that, I got docked for it because it's original and it didn't look new. Mm-hmm. But in my thinking, there's some parts that I wanted to leave original and not touch. because if you keep taking it off and then just putting it on any way you want, you're going to lose the way it really was. And that what you saw there, you have to put the grommets in, come from underneath it and go up.
Right. I'm actually getting ready to do that on mine pretty soon.
Yeah.
And see, mine actually had some Ford Mark parts on it too. Not many, but a couple. Just enough that I'm going to leave them just because,
right.
It's just part of it.
Yeah. Well, I took the grab handles off at the back and then I did make a comparison between the front grab handles and the back grab, because they're real skinny and you need, so I had to get some appropriate ones for that. Boy, that's a mess. Look at that. What a mess. Nothing like taking pictures of it when it's a mess. See, it really needs to get a really good paint job. So that's why she didn't get
the thing that really struck me about that is how light the original grab handles are compared to repros.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the original grab handles are like half the weight.
Yeah.
Of repros.
Yeah. Well, they made them different. Just like the seats are supposed to be half. Mm-hmm. The front seats have, because they didn't have a way, I guess, to make the tubing go around there. So I don't know about the back. There's a couple of guys that, will know even more. And, I talk to them about that. But they're little things. I mean, when you go and show your Jeep like that, there must be 800 things. There's my filter ad. There's so many things, so many little teeny points. It's unbelievable. And they'll dock you for every darn one of them. I mean, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, it almost made me cry. Because I worked so hard and then they're going, I'm sorry, but that's not right. So, but anyway, I have fun doing it. I like it when it's nice and warm, not super hot, but then I can get outside and play around with it and make her pretty. And so I try. I need some springs right there too. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of guys that have these old Jeeps probably have original springs on them. I'll bet you they don't, because everybody seems to be changing their springs about this time. So I'm going to say that they probably last about 70 years.
Yeah, I just changed them on my GPW, and then I'm probably going to change them on my Slat, just because I mean, the difference of the ride was so much.
Yes.
And going from the old ones to the new ones, it's just so much better. But so what? Okay, so that's the Slat Grill video. What other Jeeps do you have?
And then I have a 42 GPW, and she's won a gold. And so I show all of mine, and I put her in the what's it called, the next one down,
motor pool class.
So I put her in the motor pool class, and she took a gold. So
is this yours?
That's mine, and that's my runner. I run her all over the place. And the motor in that is so sweet. I'm telling you, it's amazing. But I'm a decorator. I'm a girl. Don't forget my machine gun I got over there. Now I built that. That's my Mini, and the Mini looks exactly like my 42. So down to the, the little, what do you call them in the front? The numbers, everything I got from Data Plates R Us. Mm-hmm. I got that. I forget the name of the guy. He's over in
Holland
somewhere, and he made those especially for that Jeep. And that is the name of my dad's P-51 Jersey Bounce. So I named my Jeeps after my dad's World War II planes. Mm-hmm. So this is interesting how I got this little Mini to get going, because I had to make the tools and, put all this stuff on this Jeep. It's not totally accurate, but it's close. I mean, it's just really cute.
Well, what was the original frame on it? Like, what did you build it off of?
It's one of those, I'm going to say the the tub on that is like one of those Chinese cheap things. There's my data plates. Aren't they cute?
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Watson at Watson's Wagons helped me with this project. He was invaluable. I mean, and then I decorated her all up, put all the extra stuff on it. And she even has a 50 cal that goes on there. And when I set it up, I made, you know, how they put the, what's that stuff called?
The
That
propane?
camo. No, the camo and stuff. I made it exactly like that. She had the wave flag came from Australia on that. So everything's same, it's just miniature.
Mm-hmm.
It turned out pretty good. I made all the seats and stuff. And then
Yeah,
we
and I
got
saw you recently sold it too.
yes, to a guy down. Now he's down the rabbit hole because now he bought an M38. And I, you know, he didn't have anything. And then he just went nuts. So now I said, welcome to our rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
So
apparently the mini Jeep was the gateway Jeep.
yeah, apparently. So you know, he has a daughter. I said, well, don't let your daughter drive it because it'll kill you. It'll go 40 miles an hour, that little Jeep.
Uh-huh.
So it's quite peppy.
Okay.
It's fun though. It's a challenge to do it all, but the engines in these are good. The little ones, you know, the little Go Devil engines. And then I also have, are those my pictures?
Yeah. I'm
How'd
trying
you
to
get
find another one of your Jeeps. So I was waiting for you to tell me what was next.
Oh my, I have a M151.
Is it this
How did
one?
you get all that? No, I have a Mutt, a Vietnam 151 A1.
Okay.
You probably won't find it. How did you get all my pictures on there?
Yeah, I'm just on your Facebook page.
Oh, it's on my, that's why they're not, you can't find it.
Oh, well, no, those are videos. Let me look at photos. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll stop screen sharing and then I'll look for it.
As you see me saying, happy Mardi Gras.
Yeah, exactly. It might get a little awkward.
Well, the guys know me, and they're it's really fun to be able to talk with the guys on their level, and I can learn from all of them. And I think you know, and the women that I meet, you know, they kind of don't know how to take me because I'm kind of one of the guys. The guys think of me as a big sister or a mom in some cases, but they're you know, they know that I'm earnest in what I'm doing, you know, not just playing around just to be with the guys and stuff.
Right.
But it's very important for me to be able to show my love of the military, which I grew up, I've been in the military all my life. So I don't know any other thing than to be a patriot at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But when I do Vietnam, I get to meet all the vets and share stories, learn stories, and they love my stuff. I have everything that they are, much of the things that they have. Like I just bought some little little things for a gun. But anyway, it's just a fun thing to do, to share and be patriotic. And we do a lot of things at the colleges, and for kids to see it, they need to see your patriotism and where our history is. I mean, if you lose your history, you have nothing.
Right.
I mean, it's really sad. So to me, that's what I live for. And so I think it's important, and it's fun. I mean, aside from just some people just you know, have their Jeeps and they have fun in them, but I use mine for good purposes and stuff, you know, showing patriotism and teaching history and that type of thing. But on the fun side was when we did the colors tour. So that's a whole different ball game.
And you know, you just did a fantastic segue for me, because I literally was just pulling that up and going to go there. So, but why don't you tell people what the Colors Tour is and kind of what it's all about? And
Lou Ladwig is our, that's the guy that you're seeing right there. He and his wife, but Lou started the Flat Fender Club, and it is humongous. It's all over the entire world. And the guys that are in there have Jeep, any kind of Jeep that has a flat fender. And the Colors Tour is a really fun event. And at this event, we had about 75 Jeeps and all flat fenders. And we go up into the mountains in Colorado, up around 14,000 feet, anywhere 12 to 14,000 feet. So we're way high. And it's long. It's a week long, 7 days, getting up in the morning at 7 in the morning, grab something to eat and be in your Jeep at the meeting at 8. And you don't stop until supper time. So that's a long time to be in a Jeep. And plus you are not on we're on the paveway there, but we're going to, the meeting place. But it is so fun. But I'll tell you, it was cold, but and bumpy, and and doing that for 6 days in a row isn't for the lighthearted. It is so much fun, though. I am so glad that I did that, and I encourage everybody to try to get on that. They do it by lottery, so you have to put your name in, and then they draw names, and then they have a couple of core people that go every year, but then they have other people, and you meet some of the nicest people. I'm telling you, they're wonderful people, and it was great. The scenery was unbelievable, and the camaraderie with the Jeepers is really super. I mean, you learn what to bring with you when you go on a trip like this. Like you need extra shackles. We had guys that they have the toolboxes like you wouldn't believe. So they bring extra shackles. They have impact wrenches. So if somebody breaks down, we only had like 2 or 3 people break down, but everybody just jumps on it and fixes it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So we did lose. Lou lost a shackle. We kept hearing this noise. I was in the back. You need to stop because I hear something scraping in that the back rear. And so we finally stopped, and he lost his shackle. And we just fixed it and moved on.
What kind of Jeeps? What kind of Jeeps do you see
fun
there at that event?
Those Jeeps are mostly 38s. There's a couple that have World War II Jeeps, and they are fixed to do this type of Jeeping. They're not, his Jeep is bone stock. So he has his own shop and stuff. So he leaves this Jeep, this red one, exactly the way it's supposed to be. He puts together lots of Jeeps, but it is such a fun event. I am so glad that I did it. It is a gas, and it doesn't cost anything. You just have to go and find a place to stay. Well, some people camp right at where they have the meetings and stuff, and you can take a tent. People are in tents. People are in trailers, and then you just meet up every day at 8 o'clock. We separated in 3 groups, so each group went a different way. So we didn't, have 70 in a row. We took different paths and stuff. So very exciting time. I'm super glad that I did that. And I didn't have to do anything really. I just rode along. So it was good. I would not take my girls on that because something might fall off.
It's just too demanding, I would think, because I mean the Jeeps that you take on something like that,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just
those guys have.
those
Yeah,
guys are
they
like they've built those Jeeps to run them like that
exactly,
versus our kind of
exactly,
trailer queens that we have. And
right,
I still run
exactly.
mine, but I don't do anything like that. Like I would want to do that for a couple hours or maybe a day, but I wouldn't want to do that for like 8 in a row.
Well, we did it for a week, so it's
Yeah.
and I was in the back seat, so it was kind of bumpy. But you see the road there is pretty. It's real skinny. I mean, if you look over the cliff, it goes down pretty pretty far down there.
Yeah,
But
that's the place
beautiful.
you don't want to lose your steering box.
No, you don't. In fact, somebody did lose their steering box, and we just fixed it. I didn't fix it, but the guys do. Where they have the meetings, the guy has a big shop, a big lift, a big shop, and I mean, you're talking at least half, if not more. They're all mechanics, so they just
Hmm. Yeah,
they
you
do
break
everything.
down in the committee forums.
Yeah, they're it's amazing what you learn. And I tried to listen in, and whenever they were fixing something, I would go there and watch how they were doing it. But
Hmm.
it's a big learning experience for me
Hmm.
because
The closest thing I've done to that would be the Vintage Power Wagon Rally, which they'll do a couple different day trips. And if people want to go do some more off-road kinds of things, then they have those opportunities available for people too.
uh,
But of course, it's Iowa. It's not exactly quite as scenic as that. Iowa's beautiful, and it's a great.
yeah,
Fairfield's a great town. I love Fairfield, but
uh,
it's nothing quite like that.
yeah. Well, my first Jeep was a CJ5, and I had that over probably 30 years ago. But I did the Rubicon in that, and my Jeep was just stock, and that thing would crawl. I mean, it just you could walk faster than that. But it was I loved doing that in California. So I thought I could do that again, but it's harder on my body now than when I was younger, obviously. But I still keep chugging away.
Yes,
Those are that's a rally that I take the people around on the battlefield, I think.
oh, at Gettysburg.
Yeah, I do that in the fall with Merlin. Merlin has a show on Sunday. He has an open house on Friday, and then Saturday we go around the battlefield. And I think we had I want to say we had maybe 45 Jeeps on that.
Hmm.
So fun. We just drive and drive and drive, and then have a big dinner at night. And I take everybody around the field. There's my Jeep. You
Okay.
just missed it. The one that was my mutt. So it's that there it is. That's my other one. I rent my Jeeps out. If people don't have a Jeep, I just let them use mine.
Hmm.
It works. Then I can exercise them because it's you have to keep moving them.
Right. Yeah. That's the problem when you have multiples is like,
Mm,
you drive one every day of the week and those kinds of
right,
things.
right.
So you find reasons to go to the grocery store just to pick up like one thing just to drive your vehicle. So what's it
Well,
like
so
living in Gettysburg?
oh, I love it. It's really nice, and it is. Um, our tourist season is coming up pretty quick, and we usually see about 1.5 million people a year, easy. And they it's just a great place. I live out in the country, past probably about 5 miles past this place right here. That's the Peace Light.
Hmm.
So
So do you
we
avoid the city like during tourist season or
me
yeah?
personally, usually the locals. There's Mike Mike Watson from Watson's Wagons. They're usually, when the tourists are there, the locals will use all the back alleys. We try not to go down to go into, the main part of the town. I know, I think it was on this tour. I said, do you guys want to go through the town? And everybody goes, yeah, let's go down through the town. Then you take about 60 Jeeps down there and you kind of lose track of where everybody is. So we didn't do that anymore.
Yeah, I took a convoy of 30 vehicles through Branson.
Oh
To
yeah.
go to a parade, and
Was...
I had an inaccurate map, which wasn't helpful either. And yeah, that was. And then we show up for this parade, and the parade organizer like moves us 3 times. So we finally get there and we stop, and he's like, "No, you guys need to go over here." We're like, "Okay." So everybody loads up and we move over there. And then like 5 minutes, no, you guys need to go over here. I'm like, "Okay, is this the last time you're going to move us?" Because I'm kind of
there's the peace light.
Yeah, see, I've never actually been to the battlefield, which is kind of amazing.
Oh,
My background in military history and stuff, but
right. Yeah, just come and look me up and I'll take you out, run around the field a little bit. These guys are from all over. That guy in the blue Jeep. Now this is where I took the group over to Frank Buck's, and he has an incredible amount of, he has a couple of Shermans, and he's got a gazillion Jeeps and vehicles. And I think he's got 2, those big wagons that
dragon wagons.
2 dragon wagons. We're opening a World War II museum, and it should be open in April, and it's right down on his property, down a ways. And so we'll probably meet there this year at this particular event. We'll take them we'll start over there probably at the World War II Museum, and then we'll go on, different ways. But Jeepers are the best people. I tell you, all these people are wonderful people. And I know most of these people. At one time or another, I'm either talking to them online or asking them a question, or, they're asking me where to go, or, it's just a big community. It's amazing. And, the guys in Australia and guys in Normandy. I went to Normandy and 2 summers ago. So that was wonderful. And the guy that lives in Normandy, was born and raised in Normandy, he and his wife, and they give us a Jeep. So everybody gets a Jeep and you drive around touring in a Jeep. You have your uniform and stuff. So he does a reenactors tour, and then you can actually bivouac out, in the tents and stuff. So that's another thing to do. If you can possibly do that, I can't wait to go back there again.
Yeah, I've been to Normandy. I went there for the 60th.
But, did you?
Yeah. Now, didn't you have a MiG? Is that right?
A MiG-17? Are you talking about a MiG? That kind of MiG?
Yeah.
My Vietnam group has a MiG.
Okay.
We got it from a museum that was going out of commission. So we wound up with it. It's over up by Altoona somewhere. So, we did. It's just sitting at the airport. So,
yeah, I had a funny story in that a friend of mine was involved with this, like a British Air Corps RAF reenacting group. And the Museum of Flight in Seattle had this like dummy Spitfire, and they'd finally gotten a real Spitfire.
Oh, wow.
So they were looking to get rid of the dummy Spitfire, which was actually on a trailer. So
my goodness.
So this friend of mine had me go out and take a look at it to see what it would take to pull it back. And if the deal would have gone through, I would have towed the Spitfire back from Seattle back to Iowa.
My goodness.
So I'm sure that would have been quite the adventure.
When was that?
Oh, that would have been in probably maybe 2004, 2005.
Well, I'd love to put that in our World War II museum. Stick it up on the ceiling.
Well, it was a full-sized one, and they had a P-51, and then they had this Spitfire.
Mm-hmm.
and they were and they were mounted on like a car hauler. So you could
Oh.
take them out to a site, and then the wings were on the sides of it, and then you could take off the wings and put
Mm-hmm.
them back, put it on it for
Mm-hmm.
display. So, like I say, that was a
Mm-hmm.
while ago, and it was sitting across the street from the Museum of Flight near the Concorde. Of course, I haven't been there in a long
Mm-hmm.
time, but
Wow,
yeah.
that's quite a difference. Yeah, we brought that MiG back, and it was the guys took it apart, and we had the fuselage on one big thing, and then had to take the wings off, and the horizontal stabilizers and stuff.
Well, I believe there is one country right now looking to get some more MiGs, so you might be able to work a deal.
Who
With
is?
the Ukraine, I think they're looking for some additional aircraft right now, so you might be able to work a deal with them.
I'm not getting into that,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a friend that he wants a Mutt A2 like that.
Uh-huh.
So I need to keep looking. That's another thing that I do. Even though I get around talking to everybody, I listen to people. I try to facilitate people looking for things, because a lot of times I might know people, and I'll put it out there and say, anybody that's is selling a Mutt or selling a World War II vehicle, or different things. It helps to know everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
just get out there and find stuff for people.
Well,
So
yeah,
fun.
I actually grew up with I was good friends with the son of the founder of Hemmings Motor News.
Hmm.
And the way that Hemmings Motor News got, of course, I didn't know anything about it at the time. I didn't even know what Hemmings Motor News was, and his dad had already sold the business. But Ernie Hemmings actually had a Model A and Model T parts business. And the
Wow.
way Hemmings Motor News got started is he had two notepads, and he had one of people wanting to sell things. He had another one of people looking for parts, and people would call him and put their names on the list. And he got tired of answering the phone. So that's how Hemmings Motor News got started. Is it was
Uh-huh.
really just Ernie Hemmings getting tired of answering the phone,
Uh-huh.
and so then he decided to just do a little newsletter, and then
Yeah.
that's kind of where it kind of where it all got started.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So
it's fun. This is my Vietnam group, but they had all, or is that what that is? Or is that,
looks like you're by a lake.
oh yeah, yes, that's up by Altoona. I like doing events, and putting events on. And this one is up, it's not quite Altoona, but in the mountains. This is Paul Chiarello's group. So he
Hold
had
on.
an event, and that's usually every year we do that. That's up in the mountains. So we get all kinds of Jeeps for that. It's just a thing to just go riding around in the mountains, and they can't camp on his farm and stuff. So it's fun.
My kitten is acting up right now. So
They always do that when you're on the phone.
yeah. Yeah, well, he knows he's way more popular on YouTube than the Peep Show is. So
Mm-hmm.
he has gotten 50,000 YouTube views uh, in the
Famous.
past week. So,
Yeah.
and it's funny how my audience switched from like 80% male and 20% female to now it's pretty 50-50.
Oh,
Because of
there's
my
my puppy.
because of my
That's
kitten.
my girl.
So what does the
So
future hold for you? Do you have any other big projects that you're looking to get into or finish right now, or
no, I have cut back. I sold my Mini, and I just it's hard to keep up with even the just 3 Jeeps. And I sold my CJ5, so I actually had 5 Jeeps, and it was just driving me crazy, because I'd have to change this and change that, and the parts, as go up. So if
yeah,
it's not
it's
one
it's
thing.
kind of like I say with the woman with shoes. It's like how many pair of shoes can you wear at once?
Exactly. If you've got that on there on my Facebook site, you should see my white CJ. It was beautiful. I fixed it up really nice, and I sold it to a guy. He was working in Washington D.C. and he bought it. But I did a lot of work with that one, and because some guy had it. And he had it all jacked up, and I took off, put regular stock shackles on it, new tires, because he had those big, huge tires and stuff, and had to change the gas tank and stuff like that. So that took a lot of time to get that back into where I could actually get in it, because I had to swing into it.
Oh,
But
because it was lifted.
Well, that was really bad. But when I bought regular tires for it, a little bigger than our 16s, but it just can't do everything. It was just different, I started out with the Jeep that was like that, with the big roll bar and everything, but that was years ago. And now that I'm older, I'm so used to these little little Jeeps that it just was, there he is. So that's before, and then there's an after one when I had it all fixed up.
Oh wow.
But there was a lot of work done on that, and I have a friend that lives up in the mountains that helped me with that too, who is a amazing mechanic, because he had to do a lot of work underneath it, and then I wanted to put some iron on the sides and things like that. So he did that kind of stuff because he welds. I'm not a welder, but it's just fun. I just love everything about it. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And since I'm by myself, I can do whatever I want, right? So it's kind of like when the guys have that kind of situation, and then you have a girl that is wants to go and get her hair done and do all this stuff, and they don't want to get in the Jeep, and I'm just the opposite. So
yeah, my girlfriend encouraged me to buy the Slat, so I'm like, oh, maybe we need to date for a while. So is there any advice that you would give to another woman that's interested in getting into it, kind of on from the same angle that you're in? I mean, you've been doing it a while, so you look pretty good for 35. So what would you say to someone?
There was one girl that was trying to get her husband to actually restore. I think they have a 45. And I said, well, you need to, if you're going to do it and you want to do it, you got to just start with the little stuff, change the oil, get in there and look inside the engine and find out what goes where, how the electric works and this and that, so you can learn about it. And, you really have to be dedicated to research it if you're not going to do that. And if you're with a man that is doing it, that is the thing. Get in there and turn the wrenches, get underneath it. And I mean, that's what I would say. I know so many guys that have girls and women and wives that don't want anything to do with the Jeeps, and I feel really bad for them. And so it's there she is. Crazy woman. I'm the crazy Jeep lady.
Well, and I also think it's a bit of a challenge if you try and take someone who's not really into it and push them into it, because then you're going to have a totally different outcome also.
You will.
They'll like it even less.
Right. You're exactly right. And it just depends on the woman. And if you're my advice is to the guys that are single, if you really like that stuff, you got to find a woman that is going to not worry about her hair when she's flipping around in those Jeeps, and will really like it, because it's so sad when when you split up your hobby. It's okay to be independent of each other. See that sweet thing. So
fabulous. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it was a good build.
Well, the best piece of advice I ever got from someone for something like that was actually regarded snow skiing. And he said, no matter what you do, keep your wife or girlfriend warm. If she's cold,
Yes.
nothing will work. So if you're going to take them out in a Jeep, you got to keep them warm.
I'll tell you, when we did that color tour, it was probably 30 degrees out, 40, maybe 50 in the afternoon. It was bone chilling cold. And when you're driving in a Jeep with the top down and the windshield down, it's pretty cold.
Yeah, that's why they're called pneumonia machines. Right.
But I'll tell you, there were, I would say 80% of those Jeepers had women in them. And that says a lot for those girls, because those girls hung in there. They didn't care about their hair. They had, hats and, all that kind of stuff. It was cold. So if you can have a girl that can do that and not complain, you're doing pretty good.
Well, 50% of that 80%, 50% of that 80% are now divorced. So
no, they're not. They're going to do it again. There's a lot of them that are doing it again. But those girls are hardy girls, pretty girls. You wouldn't believe it. They're just really good girls, and they're doing it with their husbands, and they're good. They're all good.
They found their own karma in the hobby, which might be just, spending time with all those people. It may be just enjoying the scenery, just maybe
whatever
just
it is.
Getaway.
Yep. Yeah. Not all of them, are helping their husbands with the Jeeps, but they are with them and they're sharing that. And that is the most important, is share. That's what I miss most of all, is when I'm by myself, when I go up in a mountain or whatever, and I can't tell somebody about it. You can't share. So that's what I miss the most. But, for women to get going in that, to start with, you just have to really love your Jeep and start working on it. And, if girls would call me, they could bring over their Jeeps, and then we could, talk about it and have them do some maintenance and things like that. And so they need to be able to do that, find a Jeep that you like and find some guy that'll help you learn, because you can't learn just staring at it. You've got to research, you have to learn. So
you got to do some light reading before bed with a technical manual, apparently.
Well, yes, I do that, but it is I'm not normal. So most of the guys will tell you that I'm pretty much not normal. But and I am all girl. I love to cook. I love to get out and do all the girly stuff that girls do. But but
you also have a war room.
I do have a war. Yeah, you can't see my war room. It's beautiful. I have everything in here that you can imagine that goes on a Jeep, in a Jeep. All my guns, things like that go on them. I'm from Texas, so you can imagine about what that is. But it's fun, and I've always been a tomboy. I think that's the thing, is I've been a tomboy all my life. So I've always been with the boys and doing their things, because it's much more fun to do boy stuff. I do not shop. So I don't do too many girly things.
You don't shop for clothes, you shop for Jeep parts.
Or antiques. I'll go antique, but I don't shop. I have 5 sisters and 3 brothers, and they are total opposite of me. They want Gucci bags, they want stuff. I want to fish. They want this. I want to get out and shoot. They're just, I'm probably adopted. They're just different. So, but but still doing things. I mean, I love to cook. I love to cook,
Mhm.
but that's just me.
Yeah, well, I think you're fantastic, and I'm really
Oh,
glad
thank you.
really
Thank
glad we
you.
got to talk to you, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be interested to see who this is, because people on Facebook will see your profile or maybe see your posting. They're like, "Who is this?" But
They'll come up to me at events. They'll say, "Are you Dee?" And I'll go, "Yep." So yeah, it's important. But I would love to have another girl be able to show her some of the stuff. It would be wonderful. Or even guys. I mean,
yeah,
there's guys out there that don't turn wrenches. They just drive them. So, it's all a learning thing. We're all in different phases. And I have to take my hat off to the guys that take those rust buckets with holes in them. My God, I can't even believe that well, it's like a miracle. They make it. It's amazing. I
hmm
mean,
well,
I
that's why
am,
you need to go take that welding class so you can figure out how to do all that stuff. So,
yes, yes, yes. I do want to take a welding class.
okay.
So
Well, hey Dee, thanks for spending some time with us today. I'm sure people are going to enjoy your story. And for the audience, thanks for tuning in to the Peep Show, episode 21 with Dee out in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So again, if you enjoy this show, go ahead and like, share, comment. If you don't like it, why are you still here? Why are you still here 45 minutes later? You could have done something else. So anyway, on that note, I'll
very
catch you
good.
on the next one.